Hello creatives, welcome to Artist Star. My name is Beth and I'm at the gallery to do a tarot reading for Gemini season and the 3 Decans. I'll also offer a bit of astrology guidance as to how we might all navigate what we receive from Source and how to use any messages for your card placement. Let's start with a quick review about the sign of Gemini. The home is the 3rd house, mostly known for communications. Since astrology is about the self, this means how you perceive, analyze, process, and then share your information. So it's how you research, think, edit, speak, and of course, how you choose to share or express information. In Vedic astrology, it adds technical things like instructions and skills, as well as your siblings, your neighbors, courage, ambition, exercise for fun, and short distance travel. Mercury is the ruling planet, which brings your analytical patterns of reasoning and your mentality, rationality, and adaptability to your way of thinking. Air is the element for Gemini. This is why I always say if you want a lively party, invite the natural social butterfly, Gemini. Being a mutable sign gives Gemini a flexible, adaptable perspective. I can attest to this as I have many Geminis in the family and friends, and all of them, no matter what decan, have this restless, talkative, bright, sparkly energy about them. The tarot's major arcana card for Gemini is the Lovers, the meaning of which is knowing yourself well enough to make harmonic choices for your inner balance and well-being. The Cards of Truth chart looks at the Gemini's ruling planet Mercury in the 4th placement. So that's where you'll be able to see what card you have there depending on your birth card. The Cards of Truth gives Mercury's 4th placement, the Hierophant for the black suit 4s, and the High Priestess for the red suit. Both communicators from Source. The day of the week, Wednesday. So now you can start to see where the Twins constellation comes into play, the battle within of having that dual nature of decision making. Gemini's catch-22 being a mutable air sign with duality communications within, as well as taking in the considerations from the Hierophant and the High Priestess, and the struggle to settle into the good decision making. So the shadow attributes for Gemini has exactly to do with that inner struggle to make good choices, battling addictions, ungroundedness, extreme extroverts, lack of putting off decision making or making decisions based on your own needs without thought to others. So, depending on your own personal chart and how that's set up, you'll see, hopefully, where your strengths and weaknesses are. So, how do we begin? Well, I would encourage you all to check your charts and see what house you have Gemini in and any planets there. That will give you some information as to how you do your communicating, and you might even be able to spot your catch-22. Then look at your Cards of Truth chart for Gemini's ruling planet Mercury in that 4th position and see what card you have there. Then you can add that card meaning to your considerations of the messages from this reading. Just puts another veil over it for you to sort things through. I'll give you a little example from my own personal chart. I have Gemini in the 6th house of service. with the planets Mercury and Venus there. My catch-22 with the astrology, well, at least one of them, is navigating the retail art world while being slightly dyslexic and overly sensitive to energy. Yeah. My cards of truth, fourth position Mercury card, is the 9 of diamonds, being me. My card, my birth card, is the 7 of clubs. So this adds an inclination to be energetically intuitive about reading people and what they want or need. And I have a pretty strong placement there. So my intuitive or antenna for intuitive, psychic, blah, blah is right up there. So I'm also in that catch-22, right, of the cards of truth card. I'm also a giver of valued information about value. That's the good part. The catch-22 part is that I'm overly giving of my time and effort. You know, it took me a while to realize you're building relationships with people, but you can't be too accommodating. You know, it's a business and you've got to do the right thing by your artists as well. So yeah, that was a learning curve for me. So let's see. If you don't have your Vedic Cards of Truth chart yet, your very own tailored you can. I've put a link in the description box below for a free personal Cards of Truth chart in the description box, and you'll see it. It'll take you right to Ernest Wellham's website, and you'll be able to fill out the information and get a chart that is all you. So let's get started with the tarot reading for Gemini season and the 3 decans. First, I'm going to ask in this reading here for the first card, we're going to ask about what would be beneficial for Geminis or any position of Gemini to deepen the creative experience. I'm using the archetype cards here to see where you are being invited to take an inner look. Now we're going to follow up with my Cards of Truth, Spirit and Nature deck. This is going to fine-tune where to begin going a little bit deeper by pulling the thread. Love to do that. And don't forget to check your card chart for the card that's here, and then follow up with a more helpful clarification with the Lenormand cards. And then lastly, we're just going to flip over a loving wishcraft card, message of encouragement for you. I just love how they all ended up being something of the moon. I close my eyes, I shuffle, I cleanse everything, I shuffle, I sort them through hand over hand and pull a card for each, so I don't know what's here. And I put them in the upright position though, because I want to make sure that, and if they're not in the upright position, I would turn them over. But I can tell with the Lenormand cards, they are, you know, the bird tells me which way up. But it just gives a nicer message because I visit the shadow attributes as well anyway. All right, so let's start the beginning and look at this first decan Gemini. We're going to go with these top cards here and let you know that this first decan runs through May 21st to May 30th. Now, these are all club cards. It goes from the Jack of Clubs all the way down to the 2 of Clubs. So very clubby 10 days. And this also gives you a, I'm sorry, I want to tell you first that this first decan is double Mercury. So this is a really interesting doubling down on all of that communication and Mercury energy. So this gives you a witty and knowledgeable style of communicating with a nice measure of curiosity. You can see how your free-spirited style is like welcomed at any lively social gathering. Be perfect for you. It's a little hard for you to to sit quietly, right? In a meditation or anywhere. You're the one up dancing first. So, as far as meditations go for an air sign, it's always better to do an active one, like yoga or walking meditations would be really possibly a better fit. So let's turn over the 3 cards and see what we have for you first, Decan Geminis. We've got Companion, upright. Yep, upright. 10 of clubs. Very nice. Then you've got the Ship. Very nice. And I'm going to save this one for last. I turned them all over so that you could get a visual, and I will have better direction as to what the message is that's coming through for all 3 cards. It tells a little story. So companion and how you go about your companionship. Let's look at the message here. It's really hard for me to see yellow on yellow. So light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. The shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Interesting that they're twins here as well, right? Or 2 people, 2 and 2, following straight through with this reading. I really like that. And it kind of makes me think, are you a companion to yourself? There are so many people that are uncomfortable being alone and, doing their own thing, or, so how comfortable are you? I'm really letting Source speak through me, or trying to. I'm trying not to really add anything and I just will explain what's coming through. So to really understand, like I said, how you are being a companion, a friend, a partner, anyone that you spend time with and have a relationship with. And how loyal you are, because that goes both ways, when you think about people, places, and things, and yourself. So because astrology is such a personal journey, I am really hearing that this is all about the way you do you, especially in those group situations, knowing that most of the Geminis that I know really love social interaction and how you communicate through that witty lightheartedness. If you bump up against any of the negative influences out there, how you handle it. I mean, do you just off the cuff speak your truth in that genuine, really, what was the word that I used earlier to describe how the Geminis are? It's like having the ability to understand and deliver news to people who might not be that open to receiving things like that. It's like your communication style is to just open up and be so open with people that I know one Gemini who is of the family who's just really gifted with speaking his truth in the most spontaneous and deep way that it's impossible to take offense, and he does it really very, very well. So something there for you to contemplate, how grounded in your feelings and what you think about things that you're so quick to jump in and say the right thing. I should give you the context of what I'm talking about with the situation of the family member who came and said, in response to another guest that was at the party, just the guest said something that was rather rude, really, in his treatment of one of his clients. And the family member just said, "Oh man, that's not cool. You shouldn't do that. That's a little disturbing, or that can't be good for the relation," and blah blah blah. And the other person at the party, a friend, was like, "Yeah, I know you're right. And I guess I better change that," or something like that. I can't keep doing that. I won't have any business at all. So it was pretty interesting the way it was just out there and received genuinely, and rightfully the way it was. And it was just like watching this perfect Gemini deliver what he needed to deliver in the best way possible. It was really pretty cool to see and experience there. So, okay. So knowing yourself and, how good you are at being your own companion as well as the companion to other people. And do you gossip, right? Sometimes it's just so delicious, so spicy, good news, it's just like, oh, it's so juicy. I want to share it. But, is that in the best interest of everyone, or is it not, right? So how do you do the do? That's where you are being asked to begin the begin. Just a little deeper look. And it's interesting that you get this 10 of clubs here, because the 10 of clubs is the ecliptic card in the cards of truth. That's the one that's right in the middle of everything. It is your life path. That is what you are here to do. So the 10 of clubs, you could actually be watching this and be a 10 of clubs. So being a 10 of clubs has a completely different chart, of course. And so this is the 10 of clubs cards. We're going to talk about that being on the ecliptic, because that is its natural position as a 10. The club suit is the intellectual pursuits. So this could be how you are being asked to look at your workmates, how you conduct yourself at work. The 10s are multi-talented. They have all of the skills and talents of the rest of the suit. There's nothing that you can't do. You're a jack of all trades, and very grounded in your spirituality, being that the black 10 suits is related to the magician card. So it's a manifesting card. This card is just one of the best cards that you could possibly get out of the deck. So you're being asked right here to look at how you are a companion in what you do on your life path, that work relationship, the companion to your mate, your friends, how aggressive you are. The attributes of the 10 of clubs is having all of that ability to be so adaptable. That's another Gemini quality. So this could fit you to a T. And how efficient you are with your multi-talentedness. You're probably really versatile too, right? The thing about this card to really understand that is that it's reward for effort. Really interesting there, because whatever you put in as a manifesting card, you will reap the rewards for it. you really just need to have that gratitude for being given all of those gifts and not to take them for granted, because that is one of the things that could happen with the setup here for your first Decan Gemini. It is very likely that that could be happening as well. So you might want to look into that and just consider, you being happy in your work and how you produce what it is that you're doing and how you interact with the people around you. And it's everybody, it's everyone. It is the people you work with, your home, your family, your friends, and how you are that beautiful, light, double Mercury Gemini in the best way possible, keeping your vibe high in all of that. Yeah, this is really pretty cool, because this is like being the ecliptic card, right? This is a life path decision making for you. So it would be interesting to see or hear back from you if you have any of those shadow attributes of the Ten of Clubs, which would be, things like having self-doubt or being judgmental in what you're doing. Not, that would have to be the shadow attributes of the Gemini as well. But it could also be just being lazy in work and, wanting all fun and not being able to get down and get to work with having the difficulty with the decision making and making good choices. So that would be interesting to hear if your impulses get the better of you with that card here. That would be something to really take into consideration. But with the ship here, that the ship is all about having what you want. It is like your ship coming in. So I'm thinking it really points to a higher vibration here than a lower vibration. So I hope that you do take all of that into consideration when you are dealing with everyone and everything. Do you keep your high vibe? Are you really grounded in your knowing who you are at your core enough to be able to express it in that genuine curiosity that we talked about earlier for this first decan having? It is you just being able to open up to that curiosity and having all of that Ten of Clubs intellectual knowledge as a style for communicating. It would really be interesting to see how you bounce around a gathering and to see if that all works for you, because that double Mercury would really make you very witty and charming in this position. I like it. I think this is a pretty good reading for you. All right, I'm going to end it there because it all seems pretty darn good as a second look. Just go in and touch on those things with the attributes of the cards and knowing what your loyalty is to yourself as well as others, really getting down to being able to voice what it is you want to convey, and do that in that unselfish way, thinking about others and, not losing who you are in the battle, right? Because the shadow attributes here would be the loss of personal identity. So, which would be another Gemini possibility. So good place to start looking and pulling that thread, nothing wrong with that. It's just you creating a higher vibration by knowing yourself better. It's lovely. All right, let's see what you get for a wishcraft card. Makes you want to go howl at the moon. Howl. My voice is heard in the world. What a lovely message for you. That's exactly so apt message for you, because it's you finding your voice and really being dedicated to what it is that you have to say, that tenacity, right? And being that grounded 10 of clubs really puts you in a beautiful position to do just that. And once you do, that 10, that abundance, that manifesting, you being able to just reap the rewards for all of your efforts. Really pretty sweet. All right. Okay, let's move on to Decan number 2. The second decan is ruled by the beauty and comfort-loving Venus. How nice is that? So you've got Mercury and Venus in this second decan. So this runs from May 31st to June 9th. Here we have a charming romantic who dislikes discord. You're the one who likes to throw fabulous parties with a bit more of a groundedness. All right, so that's pretty cool. So you are looking at starting out with an ace of clubs and running through, what was that date? Let's see, from May 31st to June 9th. So with June 9th, you are running up through the 8 of diamonds. So King, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, and 8. Very cool. So let's see what your messages are for you. Let's turn over your archetype card. So you got the Destroyer. Ooh, this is interesting. Light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Interesting. The shadow attributes, intoxication with destructive with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Interesting. Destroyer. Okay, so that's that card. Let's look at the cards of truth, spirit, and nature. 3 of spades, the true grit card. And then we have the house, which is basically your dwelling or your stature, how solid and grounded you are. And where I like to read these as being personal, I'm going to read it as that. Only because of the 3 of spades here as well. This is all about you and how you handle upset and how you need to take a really good look at your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, it's all about that here with the second decan, isn't it? Okay, so you're the one that really loves that Venus comfort and beauty added to you, who you are at your core. So with the light attributes being that releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life, or intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So, yeah, that could be about you personally as well. And it does seem to be like that is the message that's really coming through here. The first decan was very personalized, and this really feels very personalized as well. I'm just going to say that this is about how you speak to you. So Are you destructive? How do you release that behavior? And how do you prepare when you turn over a new leaf, which is very much what the Three of Spades is all about. It's all about finding the true grit to move on and get stronger. That is your job with this card. So we're talking threes, we're talking Mars energy here. So look to see in your Cards of Truth chart what you have in that third position in that first row, and see what card is there. And see if you have a Three of Spades in your chart, either or both, right? So yeah, the True Grit card is all about releasing what is potentially destructive behavior and turning over a new leaf. I mean, that is what that card does. So how do you do that? Do you do that with the best of intentions for yourself? We're looking at that Strength card from the Major Arcana for the black threes, the spades and the clubs. So we're looking at that, and that is finding and knowing your strengths and weaknesses. It's as I said, the True Grit card. This is you finding your merit, you finding your stamina, and how to rise to the challenge with courage and willingness. How do you when faced with adversity and realizing that you have something that needs releasing? So how would you go about doing that, with this Mercury and Venus? Connotations around the energy of that for a Gemini who loves all those comforts. So I could really kind of envision how you might overindulge, self-medicate. It's a big possibility of a shadow there. And how you look at that, what you tell yourself around any behaviors that need to be, released, let go of, destroyed, if you will, and how you would not destroy yourself in that same breath. Because that's the Three of Spades too. Those two cards go together so well. And we're talking all about you and your health and your well-being. So for some of you out there, it is a real possibility that you do it very well, that you are able to spot where the work needs to happen and take place, and you're happy to jump in there and get it done. Threes are all about knowing how to let go of that exactly. The shadow attributes of that three is the Three of Spades is confusion. That Gemini possibility of bad decision making. It's the Lover's card in the Major Arcana. So, without mincing words here, it is you figuring out what's the best for you. What can you let go of? What do you need to tweak to become a healthier, well-being, vitality, energy that you are? It's just such a light energy around Geminis that it could be that, it's really kind of hard to be grounded in it. And you might feel like you could, be like, have that malice or defensiveness, feeling like you're fearful of being or having to face what it is that needs tweaking. Really juicy stuff here for you. Oh my goodness. You finding your true grit and your merit and your well-being, your truth, your loveliness, digging yourself up out of all that mucky, yucky, goopy guck to become that gorgeous lotus blossom. It's so juicy and full of really potent energy. Once you make the decision to do what you need to do for yourself, whatever that is, everybody needs improving. You're not done till you're done. We don't want that too soon. No, we want to keep on keeping on and raising that vibration to the highest that you possibly can and keeping in that lovely you that you are with that Venus. I just feel like I'm in velvet. I love velvet. I love silk. And it just feels like when I'm talking about Gemini and Venus and communication, it is all that soft and warm and light. And I certainly hope you are taking care of yourself in that respect. It would really behoove you to do something super nice for yourself. Take a day, do what you want to do. Be there just for you. Whether you need other people around or not, or if you want to go do an active meditation, just for you, that would be really awesome too. But I could see, just rocking out to a music concert or hanging out with your friends, your best buds, your best peeps, and just having a really good time with it too. Being kind and generous and all of that for yourself as well as your other people around you. All right, well, I'm going to end it right there. That's a pretty good place for you to begin. Wow, super juicy. Okay, let's see what you got. Moon wishes. The moon shows me patience. Well, that's a good Gemini thing right there, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you and your patience. Not many Geminis have a whole lot of patience that I know of. Maybe you're different, but I think that is one of the harder things for Geminis to get the handle on is patience. Always go time with the Geminis that I know. So fun and light and endearing. So, all right. So we're going to move on to the third decan. So the third decan is ruled by the creative, dance to your own drum Uranus, which runs from June 10th to the 20th. So the June 10th that would be the 7 of diamonds. I'm looking now at the chart. The 7 of diamonds to the 20th gets back into the clubs, another 10 of clubs. It's very interesting. Okay, so there you have it. Those diamonds and clubs. We are in diamond and club season now. Only a few spades here and there. Okay, so yeah, this third decan, as I said, Uranus, dance to your own drums, and this decan is also innovated, independent, a rebel who is most likely being comfortable living outside the norm while embracing non-conformity. Pretty interesting. So you've got Mercury and Uranus. Whew, you are lively. And I know a few of you. Yes, I'm actually born on the cusp of just this. But I would not call myself a third decan Gemini. No, I would not. So here we are. We have a healer. We have the Two of Spades. Oh, that's so interesting. The Two of Spades connects health and well-being. Oh my goodness. And a fox. Very creative, very crafty. Well, this is interesting. All right, we're going to read the light attributes first to see where you are being invited to take a closer look. Light attributes of the healer are passions to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. That is such a spade thing to be. Ability to help transform pain into healing. The shadow attributes: taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. If I had to pick a Cards of Truth card to go with the healer card, it would be the Two of Spades. The Two of Spades is a connector of your well-being. It is finding your remedy and cure. Wow. Okay. I mean, the Six of Clubs is also a very healing energy as well. But the Two of Spades for me is really just having that spiritual input. And we are talking the Mercury placement in the Cards of Truth chart with the Hierophant and the High Priestess, whether it's a black 4 or a red 4. So check your charts to see which one you have. So if it is the black, it is the Hierophant. And that is just that old school knowledge straight from source. It is grounded, it's history, it is really deep and dense and universal. It is beautiful, beautiful energy to talk about being a healer around. So you are being asked to look for exactly that. Passion to serve others. Very nice. By repairing the mind, body, and spirit. You know, maybe you are a healer, a light worker, or someone that is out there trying to produce something, offer a service of some kind that is beneficial for people to grow and become, healthier in the mind, body, and spirit. So, yeah, pain into healing. But, we're also talking about you. And this, again, just makes it feel like, that pops into my head, thank you, Source, is putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then dealing with other people and their issues. Healers have to do that. You got to take care of you. I consider myself a light worker as well. And, it's what I do all day in the gallery world, and it's what I do here with the cards. And it is to bring information that is going to better your high vibe in the end. I do it for art, I do it for people, and I often have to remind myself to do it for me. So are you doing it for you? Because the shadow attribute is not, it's taking advantage of others. Pick that up and read that last part again. The shadow attributes, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Yeah. So, clearly, if you are a healer, which I suspect that you are, then it would be the part about taking care of yourself, making that connection. But there may be some truth to the shadow side as well, because the Two of Spades is all about putting 2 and 2 together, understanding that health is wealth, but in what way? Are you trying to prolong customers from healing so that they are repeat customers? Or is it a one and done or a three and done? Do you offer specific things for specific reasons? Or, is it just this continuum? I know a not so high vibe healer that told a friend of mine that she shouldn't see anyone else, just them. That's a red flag, right? So, it's all good as long as it's positive and clean. So I'm pretty sure it feels like you are of the positive vibration here, but it may be that from time to time, being that Uranus second government there ruled, thinking outside the box and maybe, dancing to the beat of your own drum and doing your own thing, you just get so caught up in it that you really need to ground and be more careful about how you deliver your messages. This is just coming through for me, so I'm just waiting for it as I let you know what's being offered. So yeah, that plus the remedies and cures of the Two of Spades. So here it is kind of a struggle to get to the truth, to get to the real deal. The twos are connecting, but they're not a given. They'll bring you to it, but it's not a done deal. You've got to work for it. You've got to look. You've got to experiment. That is, again, the spades. It's you connecting and co-creating with spirit to find what's right for you. And again, this is a personal you kind of reading for the Geminis this season. It is all about you taking care of you. Each and every one of you has been this. So, and how you go about doing that for yourself first. Very, very interesting. Well, let's look about that too, because the twos are the Emperor and the Empress energy in the cards of truth. It's a Monday card, the moon day, run by the moon. So you've got another factor here in that emotional, watery, just, I would go and check where your moon is. Very interesting to find that placement and to see what card is in your moon placement, where your moon is, what card your planet is in with, and what else is going on there, because that is your intuitiveness. That is your connectivity. And this reading for you, third decans, is all about that spiritual connection to co-create with your spirit guides and your daimon. Definite message here for you to be taking care of you. Clearly, you need to do more of that. You've got the fox here as well, and that goes both ways. It's pretty shifty. The fox can be someone that you need to be aware of and know who you're dealing with as a shifty kind of possible being out to, take something from you in a crafty, sly kind of way. Or on the flip side of that, it can be you just being able to dance around that kind of thing. Like on a fox chase, they often double back and they're very tricky. They're very clever. They're very knowing in their resources and how to get from one place to another safely. So I hope you're being that kind of fox for yourself and for your clients who are coming to you. Or, it doesn't even have to be that. It can be you being that good friend that always has an ear, that always has the right thing to say to the right person, delivering that remedy and cure for other people. It's all about the well-being with the spades, that mind, body, and spirit that healer card talks about. Yeah, clearly the message here is for you to heal yourself as well. Got to start there. That oxygen mask thing. It's coming through again. All right, so let's take a look at this Wishcraft card and see what you get here. Definitely need to take a look at that because of the new moon with this one. And in that, this way, it is waxing. That's like my tattoo, see? All right. Moon and stars. I've got it in the waxing position for people to see because I want to fill people up, right? I don't want to be waning. I want to be waxing. So interesting. Here you are creating all your magic with this healer, connecting remedies and cures for all of the spirit, mind, and body. I bet you are very good at what you do. All right, let's take a look at what your message is. Send a letter to the universe. The world loves me. What a beautiful reading. How gentle and kind and generous this message is for you. I mean, all of them have just been really deep and meaningful. Just really very nice to understand that, all of us here have gotten the message clearly to be taking care of ourselves in the best way possible and to just spread that love throughout the world. All right. High vibe, people. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you go and look at your charts for any of this. It's all good. It's all Gemini. And no matter where you land on the in-betweens, check your chart for the cards and the planet placements and see if you can't get just a little bit more information about how you can bring all of this to your communication style, right? Not only the communication, but if you need a little minder from, all of the everything, it is that Lover's card, the planet Mercury, and just you being you, coming with that duality of communications, that cards of truth thing with communicating with source and how you share that information, how you express it, and all around, not only that communications from the astrology, but also all of the Vedic there as well, instructions and skills, your siblings, your neighbors, your friends, your courage, ambition, the courage with the finding your true grit takes a lot of courage and willingness for all of us. All right, I'm going to end it right there. I'm excited. This is really beautiful. I hope you all do the best that you can and get rewarded beautifully for it. Happy birthday to you, Geminis, and love you. And as always, be kind and curious. Happy creating.